Hey guys, I know it has been a hot minute since I posted. Hopefully by the time this gets posted, I'll post a few day by days because this is a self-care Saturday Sunday thing, even though I'm filming it on Monday. One of the things that I find beneficial is having a living thing to care for. And of course I have Alani. Alani is such a sweet living thing and she cares for me and it's a very nice thing. But one of the things I like to do for self-care is, and I hadn't done this last year because I ran out of time with the planting, but I have a little garden out on my deck, so I'm going to show you that really quick. Okay, so let me see if I remember what I all planted here this year. You know what? I might have been smart and put the tags in. I know, sorry, a motorcycle just went by, but this is red and pink lamium. I believe they're also known as dead nettles. This guy, these two guys here are, let me pull up the tag. Good gosh, it got so dirty. Persian shield. These two I know what these are because I get them every year because I love them. These are bloodleaf. This one's not doing so hot. We did have a big windstorm last week. I tried to cover it, but obviously I didn't do the best because this one's kind of tipping over too. This guy here is a beard tongue. And this guy is a campanula flower. It was taller, but my blanket protection broke it. And this guy, what is this guy? Oh, this is also campanula. So, two different varieties of campanula. I also have my deck chair here, so I can read outside. One of the things I put in my watering can is, good gosh, what is it called? Hang on, I'm gonna have to find it. Sorry, I had to go to my kitchen for this. That's where I keep all my chemicals and vases. So this, here it is. I have a couple bottles for some reason. I think I lost one. So this is Fox Farm Organic Gardening Big Bloom Concentrate. I have a different one too. I have, no, that's the same one. I thought I had a different one. No, yeah. Buds and Blooms 284 fertilizer. I also have this, but I don't know how old it is, so I might just throw that out. But yeah, that's what I do for les plants. There's something else I want to discuss with this. Okay, so there's actually people outside, and I don't want them to think I'm weird by taping on my deck. But one of the things I wanted to talk about was reading. I have a hard time reading nowadays. My attention span is not what it used to be, admittedly. I love books. It's just I have a hard time reading now. I get antsy, I get fidgety. I'm trying to work on that. But the book I'm currently reading, you can't really see the side here. Because this book I did the math here, I've had it for almost 26 years. It is Frances Burnett's The Secret Garden. I was introduced to it in 5th grade. I only know this because I remember I got this book for Christmas from my dad the first year my parents were divorced, which would have been 1999. So this book has seen a lot. You can kind of see the stains and everything on here and see how it's faded. It's been carried around in a lot of backpacks. And I try to read it every spring. I'm not always successful, but I do try to read it every spring. What chapter am I on anyway? Well, there's like 26 chapters in this thing. I am on Dickon, which is chapter 10. So I'm not even halfway through the book yet. And I started this book like a month ago. I am very, very bad at keeping up with my reading nowadays. I used to devour books. Before I worked at Reading Corps, when I lived in a place where I wasn't able to have a job, which is a long story, I used to devour the VHS tapes I had and the DVDs and the books. I mean, so much. I used to do so much in that regard, but then I did Reading Corps and that kind of killed my love of reading a little bit. They just had such a regimented program that, oh, sorry, my arm's getting sorry. but they had such a regimented program. I grew up in a situation where reading was fun. In fact, I'm not going to pull it out. Well, them out, there's 6 of them. When I first started reading, there was a series of videotapes called Muppet Baby Video Storybooks. And there were 6 tapes. Each volume had 3 books associated with it. And then, with the books, Kermit would read the story and you would follow along. And that's kind of how I learned how to read, because I was like, oh, what Kermit is saying matches up to what's on this page. So that's kind of how I learned how to read, and it was kind of fun that way. I always was into like the adventure stuff. One of my favorite authors when I was in high school was Robin McKinley. My favorite book of hers is her debut novel, Beauty. But I also like the Damar series, Blue Sword, and Hero and the Crown. Hero and the Crown comes first, and then Blue Sword is a prequel. But I've also read Outlaws of Sherwood, which is Robin Hood, Spindle's End, which is Sleeping Beauty. There was a series of books that came out when I was in high school called Once Upon a Time. The prologue to Storyteller's Daughter was actually my prose speech that year. I think I placed 4th with it at one tournament. I loved that piece. I basically got to play Shahrazad. And I loved that piece. I adored that piece. Maybe I'll do it someday on my other channel. But yeah, I loved that thing. I haven't read that book in years, but I still have that book. I still have all my books that I have from that series. Couple of books. One in particular, I know I've got the 2nd edition cover, but I want what I call the craft covers. Because the craft covers, they don't show the head of the princess. It's so pretty. I love them. I have Midnight Pearls, which of course Little Mermaid, Scarlet Moon, Little Red Riding Hood. I love that one. That one's a really good one. And they're all by different authors. Cameron Doki is the one who does Storyteller's Daughter. And then Debbie Vigue was Scarlet Moon and Midnight Pearls. Tracy Lynn did Snow, which that one was a good one too. I mean, I think of all these books I've read and how good they are. And I just haven't done it in a while. I haven't read books on my channel in years. I have so many. I think part of it is just that I get overwhelmed by the sheer number I have at this point. I mean, I could go and do a book collection tour. Another series I used to read as a little kid was Babysitter's Club. I have so many of those books. So many. I want to say I have the first 36 and then about the last 20. I mean, technically I had 83 to 131, but some of my books got damaged, so I don't have that complete set anymore. I had the mysteries, I had the Little Sister series. What else did I have? I had American Girl. Samantha was my favorite, which is surprising because Kit's the writer, but Kit came out after I was kind of reading those. Funny story with that. In the 5th grade, my school implemented the AR reading program. Sorry, my arm's hurting again. But they implemented the AR reading programs where you would take a test at the beginning of the year and you would have to read within that level. I remember there was an error on one of the tests I took where they placed me at 5th grade level when I was actually 6th to 7th grade level. So I distinctly remember that American Girl was like 3rd grade reading level, which meant I couldn't read them. I mean, I could, but I couldn't read them for points or anything. So I ended up reading the Dear America series, which are more journals. Not as good in my opinion, but I like the historical stuff at the time. I also read Anne of Green Gables. I have that full series now. My academic advisor introduced me to another series by Ella Montgomery called Emily of New Moon. So I have those 3. But I also read Magic Attic Club. That was a good one. I have a couple, I think I have a Keisha, an Allison, a Megan, a Heather. Well, I think I have an Allison. I'm not sure. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if I have an Allison. I know I have a Keisha, a Heather, and a Megan. And then, of course, the one book where they're all together at the beginning. I also read Girlhood Journeys, at least the first book of each of the characters, because there was like a set that came out in the Scholastic catalog. So I have like the first ones of those. Um, what else do I have? I have a lot. I have like a lot of Disney books, a lot of Muppet books. Muppet Kids series was so much fun. I love that series. Muppet Babies, of course, with the weekly reader program. I know we had some of the Fraggle Rock books when that mail-in program ended. Once we got all 18, then they, well, I think it was more at 18. I think it was like 20. I want to say it was 20, but they only did videos for 18. Anyway, I am rambling like crazy. But as you can see, I have had a love of books, and it's gotten hard for me to read. Just like it's hard for me to do like exercise videos and stuff like that. I mean, that's more of a physical issue, but yeah, I just wanted to share another possible self-care thing. Just even just going outside and reading. I actually have, where is it? Oh, here. I got this blanket. Doesn't look like a blanket, but it is. And the initial intent was to go out and read on the grass and then have Alani on her leash and, have her sitting next to me while I read. No, that's never going to happen. She loves to explore. So, yeah. Actually took a walk with her last week and it was so much fun. So, I will see you guys later. Bye.